Welcome back to the Last Down Podcast. I'm your boy Anguiano. This is your boy Lopez.
What's up, guys? What's up?
We got a lot to talk about because training camp is back. It's back. It's finally here. Starting to smell like football season.
And with that, there's a lot of big news already. We were expecting for news to come out right out of training camp, and some of them are sad, honestly.
Yeah. Well, before we start off with the sad news, let's start off with what I would say pretty much happened first, which was Kadarius Toney getting hurt.
Which is a sad story.
Yeah, actually, no. So let's actually start with that because that's actually the first thing I remember seeing.
Yeah.
Do you think he's gonna miss a part of the season?
I think so. With the gravity of the situation and the surgery that he's gonna get, I do believe that Tony will miss at least a good portion, a good 4 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. It's not too bad of an injury, but still, I believe it will sideline him again for a couple weeks.
I don't know, man. I mean, I did hear reports that supposedly he could make it, but at the same time, like you said, like he got surgery. Actually, he did already get it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he already got it. But it is concerning because if you think about it, he's been very injury prone his whole career.
But it's very concerning too because he's the number one option over there in Kansas City, and so when you lose a guy like Tony, who has potential, from Mahomes, you take him away from Mahomes, it just pretty much hurts the team in general. I don't think it'll be much of a problem for Mahomes because his skill set allows him to be great with anyone, but I just feel like Tony is a big loss.
I agree, but that means I think at this point it's fair to say that there's been a new wide receiver one. I mean, Tony was realistically Tony was never really that. Technically, it was Juju.
Yeah. But
I don't think it's gonna be Tony like as expected at this rate.
No, for sure. It's just gonna be. It's probably gonna be at MVS at this point.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of names there. I heard that he's had a good connection with the rookie, Rasheen Rice, and that he also he's high on Justin Ross.
Oh,
yes. But actually, staying on the Chiefs wide receivers. I mean, this isn't super big news, but it's just interesting how they actually had John Ross, the one who broke the combine record for speed, and he retired. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, best of luck in retirement, but sadly, he never came to be the guy that people hyped him up to be. After that combine, a lot of people were like, this guy's like the next Moss, the next Rice. But sadly, he never shaped up to be that elite receiver, and he just didn't have hands. He was very butterfingers, in my opinion. So you can have all the speed that you have, all the speed that you can have, but if you don't have that elite escape, that elite playmaking, then you're pretty much doomed.
Yeah, I would say he was pretty much like the Walmart version of Tyreek Hill. He was fast, but he just couldn't get the main thing, which is catch the ball.
Yeah.
And then to actually stay on the AFC West, though, this is in lighter news. What are your thoughts about Marcus Peters to the Las Vegas Raiders?
So Peters went on the Raiders on a 1-year deal, right?
Yes.
So it's more of a let's see if this veteran can help and boost the defense immediately. It's not a long-term solution. But Marcus Peters, nevertheless, one of the best corners in the game, and I think he does definitely bolster that defense. Great pickup by the Raiders. They really need that secondary help.
I think it makes a lot of sense, but the problem is that he is getting up there in age, so who knows whether or not he's actually going to be as productive, as he has been in the past.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like I said, in my opinion, he's clearly not in his prime anymore, so.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a short-term solution.
Yeah.
And he is 31 years old. He is reaching up the age. But corners tend to play deep into their 30s, if I'm being honest. We had Tramon Williams, who was already like 37, 38. So, yeah, I mean, there's corners that get up there in age for sure.
To actually stay on corners, though, I mean, this happened today. I was thinking about going in order, but I think we should just actually touch on this today. Because it was pretty big. Jalen Ramsey getting hurt. Yeah. He's going to miss a part of the season. Not a good look for the Dolphins at all.
No. I did make a little report on it on our TikTok if you want to go check it out. But yeah, he's going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks. It is not a complete break of the ACL, a complete tear of the ACL. So it's the best possible scenario for the Dolphins. But it's saddening because a lot of people were hyped about this move, him going back to Florida, him going to a possible contender. So it sucks, it sucks. That defense it's gonna be held back because of it.
I feel like certainly this does put the Dolphins in a situation where, I mean, that alone, in my opinion, pretty much this tells me they're gonna probably be third or fourth place because as a Rams fan, I know Ramsey still had some juice. He wasn't as like prime Ramsey no more, but
Yeah.
he still had some juice. Especially, he almost got Seattle eliminated, so I know he can still impact games, and it's gonna hurt the Dolphins, especially when they face the Bills or the Jets because they need someone to cover that one.
Yep.
And I know, it's kind of actually the same. Like Xavier Howard's there, but I feel like honestly Ramsey generally has been a little bit more of that better corner overall.
Agreed. Yeah, it's a tough loss for the Dolphins, and like you said, I don't see them competing at this point for second. But then again, I don't know. The Jets are a mystery in my opinion.
I don't feel like they are. I feel like the Jets. I feel like they actually look legit.
Yeah,
and at least offensively, I don't know. I mean, like you said, I guess I understand what you mean because that you don't know how that offensive line is gonna hold up.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think the weapons are not the problem.
It's not. It's just to see how the chemistry works out. But speaking on the Jets and Aaron Rodgers, they both agreed on an extension that's a pay cut basically at this point. Instead of getting the $105 million around there that the Packers offered or gave him, he's getting a $75 million deal, which is way less than he ever got. I think it was 75.
75 for 2 years. Yes.
Yeah, 75.
So like 37.
Yeah, it's a big major pay cut, but obviously it's a pay cut, but if you're Aaron Rodgers, you're reaching that age that you're not gonna play that long. Why not give yourself the best opportunity and help boost the salary cap? So it's a big move, and I really think the Jets did a great job there. Aaron Rodgers definitely he made it work because obviously if it was any other player, they'd probably be like, I don't want to take that massive pay cut, but Aaron Rodgers.
Tom Brady would have a word about that. But.
Oh, okay, you're right. I think at one point or another, Mahomes is gonna have to do it too, because
I think he actually restructured his contract, but I think in terms of Rodgers though specifically, I think he did this clearly because he knows the Jets are in win now mode, obviously. Yep. And he's not trying to be like, oh, I have all this money and now you can't afford anyone. He's obviously trying to give them that wiggle room to get some more people to make the team better.
Yeah, it's not like the Packers that didn't give him shit. The Jets are actually giving him the weapons, giving him the depth that he needs. The defense is solid. They gave Quinn Williams the extension too, big bag for him. So that team is really looking like it's looking more and more like a contender to me, a true contender to me. And Aaron Rodgers, just that move that Aaron Rodgers did is probably even as big as the move that they brought him in. Like, that's a massive pay cut that's going to boost that depth chart. And if it doesn't work out this year, then next year they can get more weapons.
Exactly. I mean, I think generally though the Jets, even without that pay cut, they would have still been fine. But for sure, I think this solidifies that they're going to be very good. And I can't wait to see them on Hard Knocks. What do you think? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think having them on Hard Knocks is going to be very interesting. I know Aaron Rodgers is also going to be on quarterback for next season. It was confirmed by Peyton. We'll have the tweet here. But yes, it's going to be a very interesting season. I just hope, I've said this countless times, I just hope they don't flop like the Broncos because a lot of us were hyped about the Broncos. I know I was. But like you said multiple times also that it's a different situation. It's Aaron Rodgers. It's this and that. It's the reality is the Jets are set up for success, and I hope that Hard Knocks really just shows us what the grind to get there. Yeah,
I agree because like the Broncos last year, I think we were hyped because it was like Wilson, has some weapons, and I mean it turns out that his weapons are not as good as they thought.
No, it was a flop.
But like you said, I mean, what makes it clearly different is the fact that Garrett Wilson really got over 1,000 yards with horrible quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I think that literally just shows that they actually have a true one over there, and not only that the fact that they actually went out and got guys that Aaron Rodgers wanted, like Alan Lazard and Randall Cobb. So it really just signifies that Aaron Rodgers has a better chance, and not to mention that his favorite OC is there. Even though what's ironic is that he was the Broncos head coach, and I mean, Saleh, I feel like given that he won 7 games still, I feel like he has to be obviously a very good coach.
Yeah.
I mean, 7 games with a horrible quarterback situation is it's good.
It's promising. It's promising. And in regards to Nathaniel Hackett, I don't know if you saw that Sean Payton kind of like called him out. He threw shade at him, saying that, oh yeah, that's not gonna happen. We're looking at the mistakes of last year, and we're gonna work on it. Because I'll have the tweet on here too, but yeah, Sean Payton just called them out like that's not gonna happen. What happened last year will happen last year. It's not gonna be the same thing. So yeah, that whole Nathaniel saga, Russell Wilson, mistakes and stuff, it's not gonna happen again. At least I don't think so. But
I think the Broncos will have a little better record, but I still don't think they'll make the playoffs. I mean,
I agree.
I feel like their offense is still gonna be it's not gonna be good enough for the AFC.
Yeah, and also adding on to the AFC news, today in training camp, it is reported that Burrow got a calf injury, and it looked pretty ugly, just from the video that we saw. We hope it's nothing, worse than a simple calf strain or calf injury, because it could lead up to like Achilles and stuff like that. But from the looks of it, and from like what I'm hearing is that it was just a simple calf strain. But let's hope,
I do think that if it was a calf strain, he'll be fine by the start of the season.
Yeah.
But I do hope though that he does not get that it's not too long, because obviously. Like he makes football better.
Yeah.
Like T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, they thrive when Joe Burrow's there. Joe Shiesty.
Yeah.
And he has drip, and he's cool.
He brings
and pretty much, he's that guy.
Yeah. He brings a lot to the table for the Bengals, and obviously he makes the game a little bit more flashier. He has that charisma, that swag. So yeah, hope he gets better soon. It's just, anytime you see something like this in training camp, you're like, damn, like, kind of have to, like, hold yourself, like, damn, like, not only just the fantasy impact, but just, like, the real life impact. Like, if that's your team, you're like, damn, there goes my season. Like, if I saw Jordan Love do that, I'd be like, damn, there goes my season. But best of wishes for him, but we'll keep you guys updated. We'll keep talking about it, because this could have a lot of implications.
So actually, one more AFC thing I want to talk about before I go to NFC. And it's that Justin Herbert got extended. Now that we're still on quarterbacks, we can't forget about the other guy.
Yes, sir.
I actually saw the other day that he through his third season. I didn't realize that he's he threw his third season, most passing yards all time, most touchdowns all time. I forgot something. There was something else.
Yeah.
But I was like, dang, like Herbert really is that guy.
Oh, he is. I
really want to see so bad. I really want to see the Chargers actually be fully healthy for a full season so bad, because I want to see Herbert in a fully healthy offense, with a fully healthy defense, competing against Mahomes, competing against Burrow, competing against Allen, all those guys.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he can compete with them even if they're not 100%, but if they're 100%, who knows? I really wouldn't be surprised if he starts looking like a Mahomes-esque type of quarterback with the numbers.
I mean, yeah, every year Herbert seems to just blow up, and obviously he's had his injuries, he's had his setbacks, but I think once that team just gets really healthy and they give the Chiefs a good run, a good chase, then I think the Chargers will be truly contenders, because every year we kind of say, oh, they'll make the playoffs, they'll win a game, but it never has reached that step. But I think having Herbert for the next 5 years gives you a good shot at it.
No, and it was definitely the right move. I mean, like I said, he's actually that guy for the Chargers, and he's one of the best QBs. But it just sucks, obviously, because the team can never stay healthy.
Yeah.
There's been questionable coaching, but really, it really seems like he can have a MVP-like season, because Kellen Moore is the new OC, and that's a better OC than Joe Lombardi.
Oh, for sure.
And, They got Quentin Johnston, so they addressed the wide receivers because Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, they're starting to get out of their primes clearly.
Yeah.
But I don't personally. I do think Mike Williams still has some juice, but Keenan Allen for sure. I think at this point he's just like the receptions machine. He doesn't really. He's just a short intermediate guy. Clearly, he's not as explosive as he used to be.
Yeah, no, yeah. I honestly was kind of surprised he said that, but yeah, Mike Williams is way younger than Keenan Allen. I'd say Keenan Allen is...
He's like 28, 29 though.
I mean, but Keenan is probably reaching more of his like peak. No, I mean the end of his prime. Bless you. He's reaching the end of his prime, while Mike Williams still got like maybe like a couple
maybe
of seasons.
1-2 years.
Yeah, but the Chargers are primed to have some great years. I just hope it doesn't turn out to be another Phillip Rivers where the Chargers they're like on the cusp of it, but they never reach it. So let's hope.
Because I really know. I mean, given that I live in LA area, obviously I see a lot of Herbert. Like I already knew he was good, but to really think about how good he actually is, like it really doesn't hit me until like I actually look at other teams. Like, well, realistically, there's a lot of guys around his ranking, but I mean, in terms of throwing the ball, like, he's up there. He's up there. He's up there. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's unmatched, but he's up there with Mahomes and Allen for sure.
Yeah, definitely respect this game. And so I think now we're going to lead on to one of the major news that happened in the NFC, and that was that, surprisingly, Saquon got extended. But it's not the extension we thought, you want to go ahead and...
I made a video on it, and if I got to be honest, like, I know he has the bag still, technically, but if he really wants to stay that position, he failed. He failed because 1 year, pretty much for sure, 10.1 M guaranteed, like the franchise tag.
Yeah.
But the only way he would get that extra $1 million is if he pretty much goes off and they make the playoffs again.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a huge feat still. I still don't believe in the Giants that much. I don't think they're going to be the worst either, but I don't know. I'm just very surprised. And I really did think that he was actually going to sit out at least a little bit. And I mean, I know... I could tell, obviously, he didn't want to do that because, obviously, he wants to play.
Yeah.
And I just really do think that Saquon should have taken more of a stand, like Josh Jacobs, who's still currently sitting out.
Yep.
And we'll really see what happens there because, like I said, after Josh Jacobs, really, JT is really probably the last gasp of the running backs.
It
and
is.
Then, I don't know because, like you and the other friend said last week, everyone, a lot of running backs are coming up, probably thinking, is it even worth it? I mean,
yeah.
Then, and like I said last week, Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson, they're running backs, but they do receiving work, and I think that's why they were drafted in the first round. And I do think that we're going to start seeing a trend. I didn't mention this last week, but I do think that we're going to see a trend where running backs that are good pass catchers as well are going to get drafted higher than your typical, 20 attempts, 25 attempts per game running backs.
Yeah, it's 100% going to happen because if I remember correctly, the first time, one of the most recent drafts where, 2 running backs got selected in the first round pretty early were Melvin Gordon and Todd Gurley, and we saw what happened. Both are pretty much out of the league at this point. Both are just, carry. They just, they're not really the type of pass catchers that we see today. So they're going to see more and more that will be like, you know what, these are we don't want these, guys that just, go run and rush. We want guys that can pass, can go for the deep ball, can go for the slot. These are, guys like Gibbs.
CMCs,
Eklers.
And now the future in Bijan and Gibbs.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's not a surprise to me. It's going to happen sooner than later. And it's just a sad reality that, it's because Barkley is really a franchise player. A lot of people in New York look up to him, and he had to do it, kind of. He had to do it. If he wants to play and, continue getting his advertisements, or, getting his sponsors and stuff like that, then play. But guys like Josh Jacobs, who are not that big of a star, they're obviously going to still want command. They're going to command what they want. And It's gonna take a while for Josh. I don't think I've already been saying this that he's gonna request a trade because I don't think he's just gonna get that money. If he wants the extension, it's just not gonna happen. I don't think the Raiders are gonna get that.
I agree. I mean, there's another thing I actually want to say is that I wouldn't be surprised if in 10 years from now, for example, like we look at the leaderboards for rushing and no one rushes for over 1,000 yards. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, at this point, as like time goes on with the running back market, it's like really getting to the point where, like you said, like it's just not good anymore, and I mean, like I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I feel like Derrick Henry is like the last type of guy, the last guy that we're gonna probably really see that's like a true running back that just
Henry and Chubb.
Yeah, Chubb too. Yeah, I can't disagree. Like I'm not saying their skill is like trash or anything or like horrendous. I'm just saying that eventually the way we're looking at extensions is just looking rough for the position. Like people the people are gonna see the risk. You know, there's not gonna be much reward for it. You know, it's just gonna be the risk of getting hurt. So sad day for the running backs, but Barkley had to do what he had to do.
But yeah, bro. I mean, actually, there's one more NFC news that I don't want to forget, and it's that another scare in the Detroit Lions. C.J. Gardner-Johnson was carted off.
Eesh.
But it seems like it was day to day,
which
I find weird because it supposedly was his knee and it was non-contact. I don't know. Given that it's supposedly day to day, if that's the case, then I think the Lions are still gonna be fine. But
it's something to look at.
It's something to look at still because it's like if they lost him for sure, I would have said at that point like that division for sure is up in the air.
Yeah.
Because he is one of the best secondary pieces in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
Not just for the Lions, in the NFL.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
So, who knows? I mean, I don't know. I mean, what do you think about that?
I mean, it's a good news that, it's just a small issue because anything with the ankle, anything with your leg is very concerning, especially at a corner position. I mean, the Lions saved themselves for sure. Lions fans should relax for now. But it's still something to monitor later down in the season, and if he goes into preseason. Something I didn't mention about Joe Burrow, actually, is that they might shut him down for the preseason, which makes sense. I mean, don't risk your star at all. But still, it's things you got to monitor, even though there's, small little injuries. It's still stuff that can, really aggravate and, cause harm later on. Like with Burrow, it's supposedly it's a calf strain. It's something to watch out because I remember Kevin Durant was having a lot of calf problems at one point, and eventually it led to an ACL injury. I remember it was in the 2019 NBA Finals. He had a calf injury. He was having calf issues a lot during that season, and he tore his Achilles. He tore his Achilles because the Achilles and the calf, the calf are really pretty much together. So it's just something to watch out because these injuries could lead on to bigger things.
No, yeah, I agree. I mean, it's very concerning. It reminds us that football players tend to get hurt a lot because, like I said, how many names did we mention? Let's see: Tony, Gardner-Johnson, Ramsey, Burrow. Who else?
I mean, that's pretty much.
I think that's pretty much it. But still, like 4 or 5 names in just 1 week, or half a week.
Oh, we forgot this guy, Naheem Hines.
Oh yes,
Naheem Hines. Yes. He got hurt in a ski accident, I believe.
I think that right there is just very unfortunate.
Very. Out for the season.
Yeah, and I got honestly, I was starting to get Devin Hester vibes from him. When he was returning those kickoffs against New England, I'm like, you know what? Next year he could probably do this a little bit more.
Yeah.
And now, obviously,
it's out the window.
Yeah,
it's sad. Yeah, Hines was destined to have a pretty solid campaign, especially since I think he was going to share the RB1 snaps with Cook. But now that's happened, unfortunate injury, it's pretty much going to sideline that for another season, and hopefully it's not anything, where it pretty much starts the beginning of the end, So sad to hear about Himes, and hopefully he.
It's really just a sad time for running back.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, it really is. It's a sad time. Just unfortunate events going on.
after all that news, I feel like it's time for me to tease you guys with my quarterback rankings. All I'm gonna do is just tell my quarterback rankings.
It's hot.
In order. Yeah, it is hot. Like how my list is gonna be a hot take, I guess. When you hear it, I'm gonna have my quarterbacks in order. I'm only gonna name the top 15, and all I'm gonna say is their points per game because if you guys want to see more, I mean, just you gotta check us out when we have it out. You guys gotta check it out. So with that being said, my first quarterback is Lamar Jackson. I have him averaging 26 points per game, and what do you think about that?
Continue. I don't have any.
All right. So my second quarterback is gonna be. Let me just make sure. Yes, it's gonna be Jalen Hurts. My second quarterback is Jalen Hurts. I have him averaging 24.83 points per game. Any thoughts on that, or are you good right now?
I just want to hear the whole list.
Okay,
honestly,
you want to hear the
honestly.
Okay. I'll just you know what, I'm gonna just shoot through the whole list.
Go ahead.
You know, and I'll just so the whole audience can just hear it all at once.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just gonna read it from my phone actually.
Go ahead.
Just to make it easier. So my third QB is gonna be Joe Burrow. I have him averaging 23.81 points per game. My fourth QB is gonna be Josh Allen. I have him averaging 23.59 points per game. My fifth QB is gonna be Patrick Mahomes. I have him averaging 22.37 points per game. My sixth QB is Justin Fields. I have him averaging 22.21 points per game. My seventh QB is Kirk Cousins. I have him averaging 20 points per game, 20.05 to be exact. And then my hold on, let me double check. Yes, my eighth QB is Justin Herbert, and I have him averaging also 20.5. And then my ninth QB, in terms of points per game, my ninth QB is actually gonna be Kyler Murray if he plays. If he plays, it's gonna be 19.6 points per game. That's why I have him. My 10th QB, assuming Kyler Murray plays, is gonna be Geno Smith, 19 points per game on the dot. My 11th QB is Dak Prescott, 18.94 points per game. And then my 12th QB is Trevor Lawrence, 18.92 points per game. My 12th, hold on, let me double check. My 13th QB is Daniel Jones, and he's going to be averaging 18.79 points per game. My 14th is Tua, and I have him averaging 18.64. And then to round off my top 15, I have Aaron Rodgers averaging 18.5.
Pretty interesting list, and I'm just going to start it off by calling you out by having the fact that you have Justin Fields and Kirk Cousins over Herbert. That is a very hot take in my humble opinion. Very hot take. You're one of the guys. You remind me of one of those guys that believed that Fields was gonna. That Fields was gonna be super good last year, and he was just utter garbage.
Hold on. Let me drink a quick drink of water before I roast you.
Because Fields is not that guy, and Herbert is that guy and has the numbers to prove it behind him, has the team to prove it behind him, and Fields has what? DJ Moore? Yeah.
But look at this. We're talking about fantasy.
Okay.
You might be surprised, but Justin Fields was actually top 6 QB last year in fantasy.
Okay. And what was Herbert?
And like 11.
Okay.
But he was hurt. I will give you that.
Yes, he was hurt.
But there's something that Justin Herbert doesn't have, and that he cannot run the ball like that. And, I think Justin Fields is the best dual threat right now. I have him projected near 1,000 yards. I don't have him over 1,000, but I have him near. I mean, you can look more into it later on, but, I think Justin Fields is just going to carry because of that. I have him also, passing more than last year. I will say that. I won't be too specific. But I don't have him passing as much as Justin Herbert because Justin Herbert is a guy. He's a dog for sure. But, like I said, I'm also considering the fact that I do think Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are going to take a step back in 23. I do think that's going to happen. Not a huge step back. Not like they're washed fully, but I'm also thinking because of Quentin Johnston, So...
But if anything, that would help them get more targets because they won't have to deal with added pressure by corners. If you get me,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But I just know for a fact that Fields, I think he's just bound to improve.
If you're basing
he was QB6 with 20 points per game in 22, and he barely freaking passed the ball.
Okay. If you're basing it off his running, I feel like teams will figure it out pretty quickly that this guy is just a runner. And like I said, I've been saying
I have him projected to have less than 1,000.
Okay.
I do think he is going to throw more.
Yeah.
But, like I said, when I actually just did the math, that's just what happened. He's, like, the math that I did pretty much told me that Fields is going to average more.
Okay. I agree your point that he is very mobile. But now on to Kirk Cousins. Why do you think Kirk Cousins is going to do better than Herbert? Is it just because he has the number one receiver in the league?
Not only that, he has a better tight end. He has a very good wide receiver too now in Addison. And Dalvin Cook is gone, so I just think he's going to have more opportunity to just throw the ball everywhere. Osborne as wide receiver 3 is okay, actually. I don't think that's a bad idea. But, like I said, I think there's a difference between Kirk Cousins and Justin Herbert in terms of how it's going to be for them this season. I feel like with Kirk Cousins, he's going to have to throw a lot. Justin Herbert, he's going to have to throw a lot. But I feel like if they stay healthy, like I said, this is me assuming everyone's healthy pretty much. So it is a disclaimer, I guess. Me assuming everyone's healthy. I just don't think he's going to throw as much.
Well,
as Cousins.
If I'm being honest, this is where my counter argument is. Herbert has Eckler, who's a running back that can catch. And Cousins does not have Cook anymore. He has
Madison.
Madison
is kind of like a Cook. Madison's kind of like a Cook, though. He's been able to produce when Cook was hurt.
But what I'm trying to say is that you have Herbert, who has a running back that can catch the ball from wherever, and has 3 solid running wide receivers, my bad, while Cousins only has Jay Jettis and Osborne and Hawkinson.
And Addison.
But we don't know about Addison. We don't know if Addison is that guy. We don't know if Osborne is that guy. Honestly, the only wide receiver that's proven is Jay Jettis. So I'm just saying, if you want to compare both weapons to both sides, I would give the edge to the Vikings. But that running back position is also very viable, and obviously Eckler is obviously a lot of value for that team. So,
but I will say this. I want to say this though.
What's that?
I don't think Eckler is gonna be. I think he's gonna be involved still.
Yeah.
But I will say I have him projected to have like 60-something receptions because they're gonna look. He got over 100 last year with 700 yards just because everyone was hurt.
Yeah.
And all that, you know.
Yeah.
So I think he's gonna get barely over half of that, and the yards will for sure probably be like 500 or something. That's my prediction, like 500 something. I forgot. So it's not like super crazy, but I mean it's very good.
Look, I will say that it is. These are all valid arguments, and they're like pretty close. But we'll see. Like once training camp comes down, we'll see kind of like who their weapons are, if anyone gets hurt, and I just think. Just based off last year, I think Herbert is better than Cousins and could slightly be better than Fields. But if we're like you said, the running aspect, of course, Fields takes it. But just team wise and weapon wise, Herbert he's the better Justin.
I mean, in terms of pure passing, I'm not gonna sit here and say Justin Fields is better.
Yeah.
Of course Herbert is better, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not saying any of that. If Justin Herbert was more mobile, then he'd be a party like right there with Mahomes. Literally. That's how much that if he was mobile, more like 400, 500 rushing yards, I would probably have had him. I forgot how much I predicted. I think like 100 something yards.
Yeah. Interesting.
He doesn't really run.
Yeah. Another point that I wanted to make was regarding Aaron Rodgers. 15 to me seems...
In points per game.
15 to me seems a little low, but it's just me. No bias, no anything. I just feel like he has a lot of solid weapons now in New York. So I don't know. I forgot who you had him over, or who you had.
I mean, I could tell you. So, I mean, obviously, I have Holmes, Fields, Allen, Hurts, Burrow, all those guys that are like up there.
Yeah.
And then obviously Fields because of rushing. Because if Fields wasn't a rusher, he wouldn't be in the top 15.
No, hell no.
And I have Kirk Cousins because I think the weaponry is still a little bit better than the Jets.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean,
I just think Aaron Rodgers is probably gonna creep in the top 10. I think that's it's not obviously 10 and 15 is not far at all.
But I will be honest, between 10 and 15, all the points per game are 1 point apart, really. So it's not like I'm sitting here and saying Rodgers is gonna be tremendously worse than QB 10. I have, like I said, I have Geno Smith at 10th and he's at 19.
Yeah.
And then I have Aaron Rodgers at 18.5. So it's not really that much of a difference, but it's more of the fact that the reason why I have him lower is either because I think the weapons are better for the other team, or they can run.
So you're telling me the Seahawks weapons are better than the
Jets weapons? Yes, they're
and
better.
It's
better overall.
It's
overall. I think it's better.
It's a toss up between both of those teams, because I will say wide receiver wise, yes, for the Seahawks, but running back wise, Jets. So it's
Ken Walker rushed over 1,000.
And
Charbonnet is probably gonna be the Eckler-ish of that offense. I think they actually got him mainly for passing situations because Ken Walker, he's not that much of a pass catcher, which obviously leads to the fact that the running back position is probably really changing in front of us.
So now you like Charbonnet?
I don't like him, especially since he's our rival, but
no, but
I will say that I like the jerseys, the retro jerseys.
No, but I'm keeping tabs on you. If you didn't forget that you had Charbonnet outside your top 5 that one time.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I called you a hypocrite that time.
I don't even have him in my top 40 in running backs right now. I mean, it could change. It could change. Running backs can get hurt.
It could change. You're right.
Yeah, it could change.
But who? You might. I'm brain farting right now. But Breece Hall's the running back for the Jets, right?
Yeah, running back 1, but he came off injury.
Yes.
Which also leads to me questioning that's probably a little X factor right there because.
It's just I feel like he would have definitely rushed for 1,000 yards the way he was trending.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I feel like if he didn't get hurt, I'd literally probably consider beef up Aaron Rodgers' stats just a tad bit because. But even with Breece Hall, they have James Robinson. They added James Robinson too. But he's not. I think he's a Patriot now, actually, or
no, he's a Jet, or no.
Freak. I actually.
If he's on the Jets, we'll have it here too. If he's on the Jets, then that team is really. I mean, let me just look it up right here. But Robinson is one of those guys that's very
He could be a 1B for sure. On the low.
Yeah. He. Let me look it up right here. I don't remember exactly if he went to the Jets, but he's on the Giants. He's on the Giants.
What? Yeah. Well, I guess we're both wrong.
But I'm just saying that running back wise, I do feel like the Jets have a slight edge because of the potential of Breece Hall, but Walker is another guy with it is more even than I think, but. I just feel like Aaron Rodgers might have a solid campaign this year, a solid year, but again, we don't know till we see the first game. We won't know what this team is about. But
and one more thing though, if you think about it though, we're very close because next Thursday.
Oh yeah, it's preseason first game.
Next Thursday, bro.
It's crazy to me. But overall, I do see your rankings as pretty solid. The last and final remark I do want to make about it is Lamar Jackson at number 1. In 2019, he was the number 1 running back, the number 1 quarterback. No offense, and it was because of the rushing attack, his ability to just rush all over the field, and. I won't disagree that his potential and his ability to get to the number 1 position is there, But just coming off an injury like that last year is still very concerning, still very something to watch. And he did add some weapons, but I just think that at the one position is very bold. It's a bold take. It's a bold take, and you can't disagree with me. It's a bold take.
I won't disagree.
He's a top 5 for me. We'll have my rankings next week. He'll react to mine next week, hopefully. But I do have him in the top 5. I just don't think that he can overpower guys like Burrow and Mahomes and maybe Mahomes, but like Burrow and definitely Fields, or Hurts. My bad. These are guys that I just feel like are more complete on both sides. So it's a bold take. And do you want to add on to like why you came up with him as one? Why you project him?
For me, it's more like, I mean, of course, this is me assuming no injuries right now, you know? And because right now, technically, pretty much no one's injured. Mm-hmm. So this is me assuming that right now, but it will probably change in a month. That's why I'm just saying it right now, but when we release the guide, that's pretty much like our final like ranking before the season starts.
Yep.
Like our final one, and we will likely change it because I already changed Josh Allen a little bit.
Yeah.
We will likely change it over time, but I mean, if you think about it, they added OBJ, they added Zay Flowers, they already have Mark Andrews, they have a true one in Rashad Bateman. Well, he might not be a true one anymore because of Zay Flowers, but I do think that the Ravens actually for once have
depth.
Yes, and Lamar can actually pass the ball. I don't understand. Like with Fields, I can understand it still because he has not proven enough.
Yeah.
But Lamar can pass the ball.
Yeah.
And you know, Mark Andrews is one of the better tight ends in the league, obviously. So, I don't know. I gotta be honest. I really do think that the Ravens are gonna just have
the manpower to
a top three offense in the league automatically.
Yeah.
Top 3, because Lamar is him in terms of running. Him and Fields at this point are like the leaders in rushing.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, for sure.
And Lamar is easily gonna break his career in a season in terms of passing yards. I have him going over 4K. Well, assuming everyone stays healthy. Of course that can change. Like I'll probably drop him a few hundred if one of the 3 receivers or tight end gets hurt. I'll drop him a few hundred. I will say that.
Yeah, it's very wishful thinking, but no doubt about it. Lamar can do it. He did it in 2019. If you had him in 2019, you were like certified to win your league at that point. Hopefully he doesn't drop the ball like that, but yeah, he definitely, when healthy, is obviously one of the stars of the league, and I agree with your point. If he stays healthy, he will be at the top 3 option at the quarterback. He'll be at the top 3 ranked quarterback. But just given the fact, based off solely of what happened last year, I just wouldn't give him the one that soon, that early. But it's your take, it's your perspective, so I won't, I'll argue against it. But it's just our rankings are the way too soon rankings. Honestly, way too soon fantasy.
I will still say it's way too soon.
Yes.
I mean, like I said, stuff can happen. So that's why we haven't released it yet. Just because when we release it, we want to release it after the unfortunate injuries happen. After, we know more so how teams are actually going to operate a little bit.
Yep.
But also, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Lamar isn't one. But I have a gut feeling that Lamar, if he stays healthy, the weapons stay healthy, he's a B1.
Yeah.
I really do believe it.
Yeah, but for the most part, your rankings are pretty solid. It's pretty much similar, not too similar. I mean, not crazy similar, but it's agreeable. It's understandable. So, as the weeks go by, we'll figure out the rankings and obviously update them as soon as possible. Honestly, because the faster the better, and the guide will obviously be released like that if we have it all updated. But tomorrow, next week we'll discuss my rankings. And I'm pretty sure you won't like my one. I don't disagree with your one. I just feel like it's a little too ambitious. But you'll probably disagree with my one. And
if it's Mahomes, I'll disagree. If I'm being honest, I understand Mahomes is different, but at the same time, he lost Juju. Yeah. So
hey, he has Kelsey, the best. Honestly, the best running back of all. I mean, tight end of all time. Why did I go to running back? But the best tight end.
I think it's too hot in here, bro.
Yeah, it's getting there.
It's hot, bro.
Yeah, but these rankings are way too soon. But it's a glimpse. It's a glimpse of what we're working on, and obviously we want to help you guys out in your future fantasy teams. Yeah.
Yeah, our plan is to actually release final rankings. I want to say super immediately after the last week of preseason, but I would say at least a week before the start of the season. So our goal is to have it published fully by the 28th, 30th, around there of August.
Yeah, no, that makes the most sense. As soon as possible, right before, not right after the preseason, but also not right before the season as well, because people tend to draft late August and then early September. So yeah, that's the goal. And like I said, your rankings aren't too bad. It's just Lamar at 1 is very interesting. A lot of people probably have a lot to say about that.
Well, let's see if Lamar's still my QB1 in late August. We'll have it done by late August. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and
keep on supporting.